Those who grew up in the 70s likely remember Little House on the Prairie. But did you ever wonder why they canceled such an iconic show? Well, stay tuned as Michael Landon, one of the show's lead actors and a writer and director, revealed why they canceled it. Plus, the exciting and somewhat unusual behind-the-scenes happenings that led to the show's explosive finale. And we mean explosive. Little House on the Prairie was iconic for its portrayal of early American Western life. The heartwarming, sweet, and relatable show is based on the series of children's books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. The show had a highly successful run from 1974 to 1984, with 204 episodes over 9 seasons plus 3 movies. It was so impactful, it still has a dedicated following. Little House on the Prairie depicted what life was like for the Ingalls family living on a farm in Walnut Grove, Minnesota. Despite the uplifting tone, many of the episodes tackled tough issues like poverty, divorce, addiction, abuse, and alcoholism. But even with the show's unprecedented success, Little House on the Prairie's controversial ending still has fans talking about it today. Much of that talk is speculation as to why such a well-received show like Little House was canceled. Michael Landon, one of the lead actors as well as a director, writer, and producer for the show, explained exactly why it all came to a close. Michael Landon had a ton of involvement in directing Little House on the Prairie. A star for 14 years on TV Western Bonanza, Michael Landon starred opposite character actors like Lorne Greene and Dan Blocker. With such work under his belt, he was already a familiar face when he was brought in by NBC producer Ed Friendly. He was set to not just star, but also to direct the 1974 pilot of the family drama set in 1800s Minnesota. Michael Landon played Charles Ingalls, the patriarch of the Ingalls family. He was such a substantial participant in the show that he was a part of nearly every episode in the first 8 seasons. Landon starred in and produced the first 8 seasons before going fully behind the scenes for the final one, which saw a new family move into the Little House and Melissa Gilbert's Laura, now married, become the lead character. This final season was retooled as Little House: A New Beginning. Landon directed 90 out of 204 episodes. He even came up with the plot for the initial 2-hour pilot and the final episode. According to Allison Arngrim, who played the mischievous and spoiled Nellie Olson on the show, Michael Landon's directing style was unique. He would often be happy with the first take of a scene and quickly move on to the next, utilizing an "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" philosophy. Landon, who died from pancreatic cancer at age 54, was known for being both charismatic and an extremely welcoming personality. On the set of Little House on the Prairie, Michael acted like a father figure to both Melissa Sue Anderson and Melissa Gilbert, who played his daughters. Gilbert spoke fondly of Landon in a 2015 interview on That's Entertainment. She stated, "He gave me so much advice. The overall idea that he pounded into me from a little girl into my brain was that nothing's more important than home and family. No success, no career, no achievements, no accomplishments. Nothing's more important than loving the people you love and contributing to a community." Allison Arngrim opened up to Megyn Kelly in a 2018 interview on The Today Show, talking about Michael Landon's habitual pranking. She praised him for his warm sense of humor and recounted the story of how Landon once welcomed a female guest star on the set of Little House on the Prairie. The unnamed guest star complimented Landon on his youthful appearance. Landon, with a straight face, told the woman he maintained his youthful looks by eating a cup of birdseed every morning before breakfast. According to Arngrim, the woman not only believed his tall tale, but actually purchased birdseed in large quantities. It's easy to see from Arngrim's retelling that Landon's good humor and outgoing nature made an impression on his co-stars that will never be forgotten. Karen Grassel, who played Charles's wife Caroline, recalled working with Michael in an interview. Quote, "He was constantly trying to make the crew laugh and make everyone happy. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. And stick around for a lot more about the end of Little House on the Prairie." The series ended up with the townspeople blowing up the town. Fans of Little House no doubt remember the explosive way which the series ended. The last episode of the show, titled The Last Farewell, was memorable. It was released as a TV movie in 1984 and directed by Landon. In the episode, Charles and Caroline Ingalls decide to return home to Walnut Grove after leaving for the city in search of better economic opportunities. With Walnut Grove still holding a special place in their hearts, they soon discovered that the town had been taken over by railroad railroad tycoons. With the townspeople unable to continue the quaint way of life they had come to love, they decided to take a stand in the most dramatic fashion. They made the ultimate sacrifice, emptied their homes, and destroyed the town by blowing up the properties. This left the tycooners unable to take over. What may sound crazy for a TV show like Little House on the Prairie is what actually happened in real life too. Michael Landon was determined to remove the set in order to restore the land back to its natural state, so blowing up the buildings made the most sense and sent the town out in a blaze of glory. Rumors suggest Michael Landon wanted to retaliate for the show's cancellation. While there was a logistical reason for Michael wanting to blow up the Little House on the Prairie set, no matter how dramatic it may seem, it didn't prevent inevitable rumors to circulate. Some felt Landon refused to allow others to use the set in different productions, even suggesting that Landon was upset with the cancellation of Little House and the blowing up of the set was retaliation against NBC. So were the rumors true? Apparently not. Landon continued to work with NBC after the show was over, so it was pretty clear he wasn't upset with the network and wouldn't want to blow up the set to irritate them. Landon understood why Little House had come to an end. He knew 9 seasons was an impressive run, and NBC even worked it out so he could wrap everything up with 3 TV movies. To dispel the rumor, Little House on the Prairie producer Kent McCrary confirmed he rented the land and property for the Prairie set from a developer in Newhall, California. His agreement stated he had to return the property to its original state after filming ended. One way to do that, he and Landon agreed, would be to blow up the buildings in the last scene so that the debris could be more easily swept away. Landon explained why Little House on the Prairie was canceled. It seems after so many seasons, the ratings inevitably became a little weak. But Michael Landon gave his own reason for the cancellation. Melissa Gilbert, who played his daughter, inevitably grew up. She married and lived a life of her own. In 1984, Landon told the New York Times, quote, "I didn't think a married woman should be coming to her father for advice." He followed it up with, "But when we started this show, we never imagined it would last this long." However, Landon did agree he didn't want to see the Little House set being used for other productions, so it's still somewhat unclear as to what the true meaning of the ending might have been. But of course, the cast and crew were sad to say goodbye to the show. For a show as popular and loved as Little House on the Prairie, the time always comes to finally say goodbye. What did you think of the Little House on the Prairie finale? Was it Michael Landon's attempt to get back at the network for canceling the show, or simply the best way to end such an iconic hit? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.